What's up? It's Chris with Superfly, and we're at the south side of the point of the mountain. An uncharacteristically light morning. We love this. So we're having time to actually talk about things. We're actually able to break down some details in place of just having gliders above head and sending flights. It's kind of nice. One of the things that surfaced recently is the frustration that people have with unsheathed lines. So we just wanted to take a moment and put that in perspective. We don't actually have issue with that, but we do notice that there's a certain special skills that you have to use and a certain workflow that you want to apply to a glider when it has particularly unsheathed lines. And then in this case, this glider has lines that are all relatively the same color. So this one really tends to frustrate people. And people will swear that a glider with sheath lines would be better. And if we're being honest, when you sort of pull back tension and you're sorting it out, the sheath lines will tend to come undone just a little bit easier. If we're talking about the utility of the lines in general, these unsheathed lines are incredibly strong. They wear incredibly well. We probably replace sheathed lines 10 to 1 over unsheathed lines because there's no sheath to compromise here. So if you have a glider and if you're kind of studying to buy a glider and you realize, oh dang, I don't really like the look of this, it's kind of confusing to me, it's kind of tangled, notice the first thing we do is get the risers pulled out. Step one. Step two, open the glider and open it all the way. This helps you to make sure that you don't have a line over, and this is just stacking the odds in your favor. Sometimes if you're playing where we are, you're gonna have sticks. And if you have some sticks, you can go through the business of chasing down every little one as you go, but you can also just get a little tension on the glider in a second and see which ones are actually going to be offending and which ones actually are going to just fall out on their own. So notice I'm back to the risers, glider laid out all the way. Next thing to do is calibrate. Do I have any wind, right? If you have wind, you should absolutely use that wind to your advantage. What you don't want to do is be sort of single line checking when you actually have the wind that you can just blast into the glider to clear it. Now, we have another video about the Superfly hand kiting method, but we'll revisit it just a tiny bit here. Attachment points in one hand, rear risers in the other. That way, if it pops up a little bit, it'll kind of behave nicely. When it sets down, pretty easy. If the wind is lighter, then you can give a little lift on the A's. And then you could switch to these, but notice it doesn't take much. See how much I pull on these? Not much at all. Just really nice and well-behaved glider. If we're cutting straight to the point about untangling the unsheathed lines and trying to help people who have them, who are frustrated with them, to overcome that, just remember, lay out the glider all the way, pull full tension. This is going to be really key. Work the risers back and forth. Right? The little shakes that you give and the little tugs are going to make so many of those tangles go away. There was actually 2 or 3 sticks in here and they all fell out while we did that. Don't forget, if you look up at it and it's a bit braided like this, a lot of your untangle moves are going to look like this. And probably one of the great cornerstones of untangling is if you think that you have an issue, and you want to troubleshoot it, then it won't work to set down the riser and go down here and untangle it unless it's a stick or a knot. If you actually have a pass-through, then the only practical way to go down and troubleshoot it is to coil and walk. And then when you get to the place where the problem is, you can pass the risers through and then you'll come back to tension. So I just self-sabotaged there so we could have something to work with. Remember, you look for the line that's offending. See how this one's over the top? Take the riser, walk to it, send it through. Now, sometimes that feels like a bold move, but it doesn't matter if it's even right or wrong. No matter what the move, it's going to make it clearer. So many times you'll actually do a move, it won't be exactly what the glider needed, it won't be exactly right, but it will make it easier to see. By the time you get about that far, then there's going to predictably be some moves about like this, right? So be open to the idea that if you see a tangle on the top, tangle on the bottom, they're kind of matching. It's asking for you to do one of these. So look for those. Awesome. If you ever felt like, darn, I can fly really well, but I'm not very good at untangling lines and I'm not very good at hooking in, don't feel special. It happens all the time. In a motor environment, in a low wind environment, it might easily be the case that people really own the hook in before they actually start flying. But when you get as Western as we do around here, and we do as many flights as we do, and we switch gliders all the time, and we put them in stuff bags like mad, well then you're gonna end up with some tangles. And you're gonna have the fun of undoing them. And final word for the wise, if you pull out a glider and it's just a tangled mess and it doesn't feel happy and you're not having fun with it and your voodoo's not working, you're just not making any progress, walk away, right? If you're gonna fly on any given day, you need to have a clear mind so that you can go out there and fly well and focus on what matters. If you spend 30, 40 minutes in this and then try to take that and then go fly and fly well, the odds are against you. So you really wanna kind of preserve your good mental sort of brain space. And what you do is you grab somebody who's been around for a minute and you say, take care of this. Thank you. Would you have a minute? Grab your instructor, whatever, let them take care of it. You'll pick up that skill as time goes on. Don't you worry. Awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check out the other videos, especially the hand kiting video. That one kind of flows into with this one. We have videos about malfunctions, kiting, mindset, philosophy, you name it. Let us know if there's any subjects you want us to address. We'll talk about anything, anytime. Check us out on the web, Superfly Inc., all the Facebooks, Instagrams, you name it. See you around.